What's up, guys? Rip Trippers back at you tonight. Not doing any sort of a review. This is just a questions and update post for you. First, the AC9. We plan on launching the AC9 3 weeks from today. Just to let you know. We received everything in today. We're getting everything together. That's why I haven't posted in the last week or so, because we've been working, our team's been working really hard to get this thing together for you. And so that's the update. 3 weeks. Also, another biggie, which is a plus. A lot of people were asking me if we were taking orders on the AC9 to ensure that they were going to get one. And the answer to that is yes, we are. I thought about it, and I want to be able to offer something, like I said before, that's accessible, that you can get. And so what we're going to do is, once we launch the first batch, once that first batch sells out, we are going to take orders right away. And the reason why we're going to take orders is, like I said, I want it to be accessible. I know how frustrating it is. And I've been to where, a product was offered, and I don't like to, I don't want to sit there and wait for hours to buy a product. I just don't want to do that. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do that either, and that's why we're doing it that way. So yes, we are taking orders once that first batch sells out. Plus, that will enable us to not only ensure you guys that you're going to get one, but also it'll enable us to offer many more units per month after that, and that's the goal. Like I said, I want to be able to offer 300 to 500 units per month. And we have to start here to get there. So that's the update on the AC9. We're getting excited. I know you guys are getting excited. And yeah, so there you go. Now, on to the questions. I've had so many people ask me questions, PM me, asking me questions just about vaping in general. And again, I apologize. I haven't been able to answer that many questions on the PMs or on my channel, as many as I like, because I've been so freaking busy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer them right here, right now. I'm going to go through as many as I can go over and answer them for you. Here, and I'm not going to name any names. I don't like doing that. If you're watching, and you probably are if you're a subscriber that asked the question, hopefully this will help you out. So the first question I'm going to go over, this person says, they've been vaping for a few months now, and their blood sugar has been spiking. And they want to know why it's been spiking, what they can do to eliminate the blood spiking, and what could be the cause. Because he said he doesn't want to go back to smoking. I don't want you to go back to smoking either, brother. Don't do it. And I'll tell you what I think is the problem, because it happened to me when I first started. So basically, the problem with the blood spike is that there are artificial sweeteners in these juices. Ethyl maltol is one of them, and that's one that really affects me, ethyl maltol. And I remember I ordered a juice from a vendor. It was a fruity frou-frou juice, really delicious juice. It was really sweet, and I looked on the bottle, and it said it had ethyl maltol in it. But before I did that, I was vaping it for a day, and I noticed that my blood sugar was just all over the place. I felt like, jittery, and I just knew something was wrong. I immediately stopped vaping that juice, and I went on to something that did not have that artificial sweetener in it, and it cured the problem. So basically what the artificial sweetener does, and not all of them do that, but some may affect you differently than they affect me, because everybody's got different anatomy. But what ethyl maltol does, just like other sweeteners, it's just like, sorry, my dogs, they're going crazy. Artificial sweeteners, they're just like drinking a Diet Coke. A Diet Coke has aspartame in it, and again, aspartame may affect different people, but what it's doing is it's tricking the pancreas into secreting insulin. And when that insulin is released, when it's not supposed to be released, it makes that blood sugar spike. And the reason why I know this stuff is because my dad, he was diabetic. And I saw him taking insulin shots every day, and I went with him to the doctor, and I learned all this stuff. So that's the problem. Just make sure you find a juice that does not have an artificial sweetener in it that may affect you. It is trial and error. So chances are, with that bottle that you've been vaping that's been affecting you, look to see what ingredients are in it, and just choose something that doesn't have that ingredient in it, and go from there. I personally recommend tobacco juices. I noticed that with tobacco flavors, I don't have these issues. There you go. I hope that helps, bro. Next question. This person says, I've been vaping for a little over 6 months now, and I've noticed that PG is making my throat and chest hurt. So basically, you may be allergic to PG. The answer to that, switch to VG. Again, when in doubt, leave it out. PG doesn't really affect me, so I don't notice that. I'm not really allergic to it. I do notice in some of the flavors, they just like I mentioned before in my other videos, that some of the flavorings in there that do have the PG make my my nose water, my nose runny a little bit. But I also have friends that are allergic to PG, and they have the same type of sensation. Their throat and their chest hurts. It feels sore. They're hacking up stuff, mucus. That's their side effects of the PG. As soon as they switched over to the VG, they're fine. So find a vendor that offers 100% VG, like, for example, Clouds of Vapor. They offer organic VG. AVE, Alien Visions E-Juice, offers VG. A lot of other vendors offer VG. Really, to be honest with you, there's no way you can vape just a VG juice because the flavors that go into that do have PG, but it's a minute amount of PG compared to mixes that already have, you know, like a 50-50 blend or so on. Hope that helps. Another question, do you cramp when vaping? This guy says, a lot of times I find myself to have muscle cramps and I'm having to drink a lot of water. I do cramp from vaping. I do. Especially in the summer, if I'm outside a lot and it's hot, I have to drink a lot of fluids. I probably drink 2 gallons of water every day, and that sounds like a lot. And I still find myself cramping a little bit, and it gets me on my calves. That's where I can feel the cramping. And so the water, drinking a lot of water, it helps. Also, I eat a lot of potassium. I eat a lot of bananas, apricots, you know, fruits. Magnesium is good. I don't ever take supplements. I just eat a lot of the foods that have the nutritional value that I need, like potassium, magnesium, calcium. I noticed that calcium is good too. But yeah, I've had that cramping. I still have the cramping issue. But when I drink water and eat those foods, it drops it down tremendously. So I hope that helps. This other person says, I've been vaping a Genesis atomizer for the past month and noticed that my nicotine, I'm getting more nicotine sick, more nic sick. Okay, that's because Genesis style atomizers, they use the stainless steel mesh. That's why they're called Genesis style atomizers. The nicotine delivery, and I'm noticing this, is way more intense than anything out there. Any other device, whether you're using something with a CE2, just a regular cartomizer, or even a disposable atomizer, I'm noticing that it's almost double the nicotine delivery than those other devices. And I started with 24 milligrams nicotine juice. I've jumped down to damn near 12 milligrams. And so the answer to that, drop your nicotine level. If you're vaping something like 18 or 24, chances are if you drop down to 12 or 8, you're still going to get that fulfillment even more. So like I'm vaping 12, I'm getting more of a fulfillment with this in a Genesis than I do with a cartomizer or a disposable atomizer at 24. So it's a big difference. So yeah, drop that nicotine level. And okay, so the last question, and I hear this all the time. I've had so many questions. Is vaping safe? In my opinion, I think it's safe. They've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of research. I've read a lot of research on propylene glycol, which is in a lot of the e-liquids today. Most of them, unless you're, like I said, allergic to it. Propylene glycol has been tested for over 70 years, from what I've read, and it is completely safe. You don't have to worry about the propylene glycol from all the research that's been done and from what I've read. So the VG is, from being researched and what I've read, is safe. There hasn't been as many studies on VG, inhaling VG, than there is PG, but from what I've read, it's safe. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, and everybody's got their own opinions. I think the thing that is in the dark is flavoring that goes into the juice. Try to stick to something, the flavors that are water soluble. Stay away, in my opinion, stay away from those oil-based flavors. I have vaped oil-based flavors like peppermint. Chances are a juice that has peppermint in it has got peppermint oil, which is an oil. Cinnamon. Not the candy cinnamon, but like a cinnamon spice. The juices that have the cinnamon spice have oil in it. And you'll know this. You'll know this, especially if you're a DIYer and you like to mix your own juices. All to do to test to see if something is water soluble is to take a glass of water and put 2 or 3 drops of the flavor into a clear glass of water. And if the flavor disperses, like let's say like the flavoring is brown or a light brown, once it hits that water, if it turns clear and it just goes away and it just kind of just disperses everywhere, it's water soluble. But if it's oil based, it'll either stay at the top, it'll gunk up into like little balls and stay at the top. It'll look like, if you look at an angle at the top of the cup of the water, you'll see like it'll look like oil is sitting on top of the water, or it'll just drop straight down to the bottom into a little ball. That's how you know it's oil based. Like again, when in doubt, leave it out. Like I said, I vaped it. It doesn't bother me. I've got friends that have vaped oil-based flavors. It doesn't bother them, but you just never know. So I don't know if it's safe or not. It's not something I can really answer, but I do know that, like I said, when in doubt, leave it out. Okay? Also, different devices in vaping. Then again, there hasn't been much research. This is like the Stone Age of vaping, guys. This is the beginning of it. And so only time will tell. But devices like cartomizers and CE2 atomizers and CE2 rebuildables out there that use the CE2 wicks and the silica wicks, I'm hesitant. I don't know if that stuff is safe. Again, I can't really tell you that. It's fiberglass, and anytime you're vaping fiberglass, I don't know. Like I said, I've vaped it. It doesn't bother me, but then again, it may or may not be safe. When in doubt, leave it out. I like to vape Genesis, hence the AC9. I like to use a stainless steel mesh. I noticed that the vaping experience is of a different quality, of a better quality than anything out there. It's crisper, it's cleaner, it's more efficient. The nicotine delivery is more efficient. I noticed that I feel better personally when I use something with the stainless steel mesh in it. And that's just my opinion. But all in all, is vaping safe? Well, it's a hell of a lot better than smoking cigarettes and chewing tobacco. I mean, you got all those carcinogens in there. You don't have any carcinogens in e-liquid. So I would vape on. If you're a smoker out there, switch on over to vaping. You'll feel a lot better. Your lungs will clear up. You'll be able to taste things for the first time. Do it. This is Rip Trippers. Those are all the questions I have for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Love helping out the vaping community. You guys keep on vaping, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now. You guys have a great night.